What is going on, everybody? Mark here, Silversound Guitar. Today we are talking about scales and solos on the guitar. Now, I get this question a lot, so that's kind of why I wanted to go over this, is like, how do you get good at this? And there's a couple of things, so let's talk about just real quickly, the stuff that I would envision that you probably have spent some time with going through the guitar, right? That you've gotten to this point, okay? So I would say that you probably are comfortable with your root notes on your 6th and 5th strings. Cool, okay? You probably know your way around a little bit. You probably do some chords, right? A couple of those. Now, the thing that we get stuck with is the idea, and everybody comes to me with this, dude, it's crazy. They're like, okay, so I saw this thing on the internet. It's the pentatonic. And I need to play my A minor pentatonic scale. So I think that's confusing. It was confusing for me. I had some really good guidance with this, and I think it's only fair to pass it along, okay? I think it's so much easier to start with understanding your majors and understanding, just one or two of these in the pentatonic versions first. So going through your guitar and just kind of understanding how you can do this, forwards and backwards. And maybe working a couple different places just to make life easier. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. Obviously, I think understanding something like this, right? Moving to maybe your next root note and knowing where those notes are in that pentatonic, I think is going to be huge. Same with maybe a round, Maybe just stick with your first couple of 3 right around everybody's favorite shape, which is that G shape. Everybody loves that one because it's useful. It's in like every song, so why not just roll with it, basically. Best practices, I think, is understanding where your root note is and coming up with the way to visualize around this. And that way you kind of know where you can go, okay? And I think that's the crucial part right there, is just kind of visualizing where's my root note, how do I play that easy, all right? Where it gets tricky is once you start adding the full scale to it. Okay, and so instead of just playing the 5 notes, now you're playing all 7, and it gets a little crazy. Like, wow, that's, but there's a lot more, like, color out of that, right? There's a lot, like, you have so many choices. And I think that's where it starts to become more flavorful when you're doing a solo. And that's where a lot of people are like, well, I'm rocking my pentatonic, but it doesn't sound good. What do I do? So let's kind of talk about ways we could fix this. And let's throw down a backing track and just kind of see, let's just kind of see if this is helpful for us. And we'll jump in. We'll give you a couple of these so you can kind of see what I'm playing here. Okay. What I really like about doing something with a backing track is it gives you kind of this sense of progression of where you can follow with some of those notes that sound really good. And I tried to hold on a few of those spots. And I think that's really the big part, where you start with your solos is you start by knowing your root notes. You add some flavor to that by practicing your entire scale, right? And then on top of that, you start using your ear and you trust your ear with places that you should pivot in the song itself. And that's going to be probably the best three things that you could do to get better at your solo. And this is not for, obviously the guy that's been jamming their solo, for years at this point, right? This is for those of us that are getting into this idea because it's very, very, there's a lot to it. It's not just the simple, like, cool, come up with a solo, right? There's just so many things that go into this. I think these are just three things that will help you think differently about placement and about how to practice so that it feels good. So hopefully this was a helpful video for you. I'll see you next time.